Now, you can't see all of that, but basically, it's the Hollywood Reporter, the best slasher movies of the decade. And you can see a little hint right there. So, you know what? For fun, let's go through. Let's see what the Hollywood Reporter thinks the best slasher films of the decade are. Because I'm a Halloween Ends fan, and I could jump out there and say, "Oh shit! The Hollywood Reporter said it. It's got to be true. Everybody's wrong." It's just another guy with an opinion. At the end of the day, guys, that's all it is. You know, it's a guy who got a job, and he has an. I'm a guy who has an opinion that happens to be Rotten Tomatoes certified. But that I am no different than anybody else. I'm still an idiot with an opinion. That's it. Okay, so I'm not going to read this. We're just going to go. Sissy was good. Sissy was good. That I saw Sissy. I think when it came out, it was on Shudder, and a good little psychotic horror movie. Some tripped out shit in it. Really fun though. So yeah, I think I kind of agree with that. And you guys can chime in as we go along, okay? But yeah, I think that's a good start. Sissy at number 12. Let me know if you disagree too, okay? All right. Next one. Here we go. Eddie Murphy says Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, and Prince all serve as cautionary tales for him. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, I'm reading. Did you guys see Axel Foley? I loved it. I thought it was really fun. Okay. Next one, Fear Street trilogy. I definitely agree with this. I loved that trilogy. All three movies were kind of like X and Pearl and Maxxxine. You know, yeah, that was definitely a fun trilogy. I like a slasher movie that's not typical, you know, that actually has a good story behind it. And I think Fear Street did. I haven't read the original. I've heard the original books were very different than the actual the movies. So, but maybe that's good that I didn't read the books because I really enjoyed the movies. So, did you guys like Fear Street? Yep, those were a good time, Chris, for sure. I think Fear Street could have been 2 hours shorter. Well, I mean, it's three movies, and all three movies I think were like an hour and a half. And they were, I don't think so, because they were all three completely different time periods too. So, no, I think I loved them for what they were. Okay, so far, Hollywood Reporter, I like them. I like what they got. All right, let's go to the next one. Yeah, I mean, that's a no-brainer right there, guys. Don't you think? Terrifier 2? Jesus, yeah, that's, I mean, I think Terrifier 2 should have been a little higher. But, I mean, still, it's on the list. That counts, right? Let me ask you guys this. Would you have put Terrifier 2 at number 1 or top 3? I think I would. I think I would have put it top 3. I don't know if I'd put it number 1, but I would definitely put it top 3. Okay. I don't know if it needed to be 2.5 hours, but it didn't feel like 2.5 hours. You know, so there was a lot going on in the movie, so I think it was justified. Okay, next one. Freaky, definitely agree with this. Freaky is really fun, and Christopher Landon, I think, proved himself because he did get some flack for not putting too much blood and guts in the Happy Death Day movies. So he's like, okay, I'll give you some blood and guts. Here's Freaky, and man, it was tons of blood and guts. And Catherine Newton was awesome. Vince Vaughn was awesome. Some funny moments in there. I love a good comedy slasher. You know, kind of like Final Girls. What was the one that just came out where it's like Back to the Future, guys? Help me out. It's on the tip of my tongue. It was really fun, though. I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It just came out last year, I think. Let's see. It's going to pop up. I just know it. I can feel it. Totally Killer. There you go, Shelby. I knew it would pop up. Totally Killer was so fun. So fun. And by the way, guys, speaking of Back to the Future, I just watched Back to the Future 1 and 2. I guess over the 4th. Did you guys watch Jaws? Did you do your annual Jaws watch? I watched Jaws on the 4th. On the 5th, I watched Back to the Future. And yesterday I watched Back to the Future Part 2. Even though those aren't fourth movies, they're great summer movies. Can't get enough of them. So I should have watched Totally Killer. That'd be a good one to watch like every like July. I didn't do. I Know What You Did Last Summer. I should have. I love watching those too. But yeah, my granddaughter Delilah had a birthday party yesterday, so I was at the in-laws' house for a few hours, and she had a blast though. She turned 3 years old, guys. 3 years old, and it's insane how fast she is growing, and she's the sweetest thing ever. All right, let's go more. Let's see. So far, so good. I like it. Hellfest. Now, I think for the idea, because I prefer Bloodfest, but I think Hellfest is the better produced movie. You know, and I do need to give Hellfest. I've watched it twice, and I just felt like it didn't go as hard as I wanted it to. I guess sort of like Maxxxine, but maybe I need to give it, because I still hear people talk about Hellfest all the time, and I love the ending. I thought the ending was really smart, really cool. How the killer's he's just a normal guy with a family and kids. That was pretty unique. Yeah, but I mean, I can see why they put it on the list. I don't know if I agree with it, but yeah. But yeah, I agree, Chris. Bloodfest, man, that movie delivered everything in the kitchen sink. It was bloody as hell. It was set in like a horror amusement park, and it was just so fun. Great characters. So yeah, I mean, I prefer Bloodfest for sure. Haunt, yeah, thank you, Aaron Click, for mentioning Haunt too. Haunt is also much better than Hellfest, in my opinion. So, if anything, I think Haunt or Bloodfest should have taken the place of Hellfest. All right, so that's my one kind of a neg. Bodies. I need to give this one another watch too, because I did not like it the first time I watched it. I didn't really care for the twist at the end of the movie, even though it was funny. But I do need to give this one a second watch. I think every movie deserves a second watch because sometimes our mood can affect. I did drive a freaking hour to go see the movie. And when you drive an hour and watch the movie and then drive back an hour and you're tired, that could have affected it. So I don't really have an opinion. I didn't care for the movie, but it is unique. I got to give it that. So I can see why they put it on here. Dave Vanderhoff, man, you missed some Rat talk. And music. We played music. We talked Rat. It was glorious. How are you doing, brother? I hope you're well. Hope you are well. Okay, next one. Oh, hell yeah. Where's Destiny? Strangers Pray at Night. Yeah, that, to me, I swear, there were so many critics that ripped this movie apart, which kind of proves my point at the beginning of this portion where I said there's still just an idiot with an opinion, right, at the end of the day. And I loved Pray at Night. I thought it was just so fun and energetic. I like both Strangers movies, and when I saw the third one, I expected to like it, and I was just shocked by how bland it was. But yeah, Pray at Night, man, what a final act. What great characters, really fun kills. I like that it takes place in a trailer park, too. You don't see too many slashers that take place in a trailer park. That's cool. The Ranger. I have not seen this one. I'll put this one on my list. Have any of you seen The Ranger? Let me read about this one, okay? Maybe they can get me curious. Jen Wexler reclaims the natural order of things in her punk post-slasher The Ranger, which portrays its titular axe-wielding villain, The Ranger, Jeremy Holm, as a clean-cut, authoritative presence rather than a masked outsider. Still, he's no less monstrous or overwhelming. When Chelsea, Chloe Levine, and her bandmates, it's got music in it too, find themselves on the run from the local cops, they retreat. I need to watch this like soon. I'm already in. Oh, there you go, guys. In a Violent Nature. Don't know if I agree with it. I think they're going for the art house value of it, but I definitely wouldn't put it on my list for like top 12 of the decade. Now, if they did like top kills of the decade, yeah, that kill would be on there. But over an overall movie, I don't think they like. I didn't even think that like the final act, like it was just kind of there. It didn't really do much. You know, it wasn't like an explosive final act or anything. So I would welcome a sequel to this movie just because the killer is interesting. But I think he's a little bit too much like Jason though. If you saw his face in the movie, very similar to Jason. And I'd put at least half of the Friday the 13th movies above this movie. At least half. All right. Scream 6. Okay, here's where we part ways. Scream 6 was the most frustrating movie for me for last year. I've explained myself many, many times. I don't think I need to. I think we all know where I'm going with this. I can take suspension of disbelief up to a point. But this movie really, really takes the cake. It was ridiculous. And that was just one of my problems with the movie. All right. It was kind of annoying. It really was. There was some really great stuff. And the setting is so good in New York. It's shot gorgeously. The opening is one of my like favorite Scream openings. I absolutely, when Ghostface at the beginning of the movie took his mask off and revealed himself, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. Here we go. Finally, they're changing things up. But then it just goes back to form after that, you know? And another cliche final act. If they add a third killer, does it really make it that much? No. And it ended up being one of the worst final acts. So I'm going to disagree on that one. What do you guys think? Do you think Scream 6 was one of the best of the decade? Yeah, I agree with Jack. Chad surviving that double stab. Double? He got stabbed like 18 times. That was freaking insane. Oh, you mean double killer? Yeah. It was insane. Insane. I was like, what are they doing? Why do all that and then have him roll out on a gurney at the end of the movie? If you want him to live, I guess let us know that he lives right after the killing. I don't know. But just to bring him out at the very end of the movie, right before the credit starts rolling, let's roll him out. Somebody on the side just push the gurney. And he rolls out. Hey, what's up, guys? No, fuck that. Because Dewey was like stabbed once, maybe, in the first movie, maybe once in the second movie. I can give that a pass. But when you're freaking both arms out, two killers wailing all over your chest, boom, 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 and then you're gonna freaking kick the gurney out right before the credits? Nope. Too much. I got a line, people. I got a line. All right. There we go. Halloween Ends, number 2. All right. You guys know how I think about this. All right. Would I put it at number 2? Probably not. But I do love the movie. And you know what? I'll read what he says about it. Okay. Sure, David Gordon Green's final installment in his Halloween trilogy had its share of detractors. I can accept that. Yet I find it his most meaningful consideration of Myers and Haddonfield. Green lands on the core of the Halloween franchise. Evil doesn't die, it just changes shape. I agree with everything he's saying so far. Despite the expectation that the film would mainly focus on a showdown between Laurie Strode and Michael Myers, which I didn't really care for that anyway, Halloween Ends largely focuses on a new introduced Haddonfield resident, Corey Cunningham, a town pariah falsely accused of murdering a kid he was babysitting amid the fervor created by Myers' rampage. And I loved that. I don't mind copycat killer movies. And I thought this was a really good copycat killer movie, and how the town pretty much threw Corey to the wolves. And I've said this before. If you guys get a chance, read the novelization. The novelization, from what I've heard of 2018 and Kills, there are a few differences here and there, but man, the novelization for Halloween Ends is a whole different animal. A lot of differences, a lot of scenes that never made it to the movie. And the biggest thing that you will take away from the novelization is Corey and understanding where he is psychologically in the movie. They cover so much ground with the character, and after reading it, you're heartbroken for him. Whereas the movie, and you can only put so much in a 2-hour movie. So I think they did a decent job of covering the meat and potatoes. But man, if you really want all the other stuff, and I think it is essential, then read the novelization. Because it made me love the movie even more. Through Cunningham and his relationship with Laurie's granddaughter, Allison, Haddonfield is exposed as not simply a town corrupted by Myers' existence. That's another thing, too. I didn't need Myers to be front and center in this movie, which he does get some killing in. But it focuses on him corrupting Haddonfield. And I thought that was pretty cool. And that's stuff that has been kind of covered slightly in previous entries. So I think they went full bore on it this time. He wrote that beautifully. That's exactly how I feel about the movie. And number 1 is X, and I 100% agree with this. I think X is the best slasher of the last decade. Hands down. And I think X hurt Maxxxine for me. That movie was so good and put me on such a high that I should have known better. There was no way Maxxxine could live up to X. X was raw and gritty and just had that 70s like Texas Chainsaw Massacre atmosphere. And it was fun. And it dared cover like the porn industry, like Boogie Nights. So we got like Boogie Nights mixed with Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And it's just like, it's a slasher, but it's also very much like psychotic horror. It gets batshit crazy in the end, X is so good. So good. So, yeah, I 100% agree with their number 1. What a great freaking movie. What a great freaking movie. So much nudity in this. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, and nudity was a part of the recipe for those 80s slashers. People have different opinions on nudity. Some people don't really care to watch it. I think it just adds to the anything can happen type vibe. It's like if I'm watching a slasher movie and nudity happens like within the first 15, 20 minutes, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're not holding back. Anything can happen in this movie, But let's say if I'm watching a slasher movie and there's like a love scene where that nudity would eventually happen, and they have, the characters keep their clothes on. If it just feels unbelievable. I mean, there's situations where you're going to get busy with your clothes on. It can happen, okay? But what I'm saying is, more times than not, if you're in a bed, clothes are coming off, okay? And I want realism. And I think that's what nudity in slashers gives me. Or any movie, really. It gives me realism, And it's not just nudity, too. Just what's the best way to say this? Even like making out scenes. These days, it's just people mashing faces together, right? Whereas back in the 80s, like I was watching this movie today, Sweet 16, okay? 1983 slasher. I'm going to review it, all right? I was watching it for one of the patrons. Have any of you guys seen Sweet 16? That movie's a perfect example. Within 15 minutes of the movie, I don't think there's nudity yet, but there is plenty of nudity in the movie. But there's like a makeout scene in the back of a truck, and it's definitely like, it's a makeout scene. Like you buy that this couple are into each other, right? Whereas these days, it feels kind of artificial. I think you guys know where I'm going with this, all right? And I miss that, honestly. I miss the 80s when people were like, the guy and the girl, or the guy and the guy, or whoever, they were like, okay, this is going to live forever. Let's make this audience really feel the passion, right? And I think your audience is smarter than you think they are. And if they don't buy that chemistry there, then it kind of hurts the movie. So I think that's my reason for accepting and often enjoying nudity in slasher movies, okay? Now, I think there are situations where maybe, I don't need to see that much, Like My Bloody Valentine 3D. Yes, I do think part of the scene, but then she walks out of the hotel buck naked. I don't think I needed that. I didn't hate it, but you know what I mean? Like, I think if she would have like threw a top on or something like that and walked out, it would have got the job done, right? So I think you can go too far. But even Showgirls. I mean, Jesus, freaking every scene in that movie, it seems like there's nudity at a certain point. So, what's up, guys? You are at the end of the DD Live clip. What I do is I like to clip these out if I think the topic is important or something that's newsworthy. So, thank you for watching. And if you want to watch more, you can go over here. You can go over here. Click on one of those. And hopefully I can do this for 20 seconds, which I think I did. Okay, so yeah, thanks for watching, guys.